Hello there and welcome to this quick video on how to add a post to your WordPress site. Okay, so the first thing we're doing here is we're opening up an internet browser. In this case I'm using Google Chrome. When that loads up at the top in the address bar, you just want to type the address of your site. In this case it's yoursite.co.uk. So this will take us to the front end of WordPress. This is the front end, this is the page that your visitors will see ultimately. In order to make any changes to this, we need to access the back end of the site. So at the top in the address bar of the browser up here, where it's got the name of your site, just after that, add /wp-admin. That'll take us to the back end of the site. You need to log in, obviously, so enter your login details into that, and that'll take you through to the back end of WordPress. Okay, the back end is where all the changes are made, and I like to have the back end and the front page open next to each other. The way you do that is at the top here on this dark grey bar, it's got the name of your website there. Underneath it's got Visit Site. If you right click on Visit Site and then just click to open link in new tab, that will mean you've got two tabs open. One is the front end and one is the back end. When you make any changes to the back end, they'll be displayed on the front end. So let's just have a quick look at the front end of your site here. This is still a very basic beginner site. It's got the name of the site up here. This is the menu bar here, and this will display all the pages and all the menu items. And then posts, which is what we're here to talk about, are these things underneath. So at the moment there's one post there. This is the standard one that comes with your original installation of WordPress called Hello World. So let's have a go at adding a new post. Click onto the back end of your site, and on the left hand side here you'll see all the menu items, and you'll have one there for posts. If you hover over posts, a new flyout menu will appear, and then you can click add new. So this takes us to the page where we're going to create a new post. The first thing we're going to want to do is come up with a title for this post. It wants to be descriptive, it wants to contain a few keywords, and it wants to clearly let people know when their eyes just glance over the text. It wants to let them know what it is that this page is about. So in our example we're going to use a conservatory supplier serving the West Midlands. So let's go for a title, something like West Midlands UPVC Conservatory supplier, and add that. Okay. When we come down to the main window, so that's the title input up there. When we come down to the main window, you'll notice that this little line appears here. This is the permalink. If we click edit, we can see that this is the final address of where your post is going to reside within your site. So the address will be the name of your site and then this name that you've given to this post. Now this here, you'll notice it's all in lowercase, it's got hyphens in between it, and it contains most of the words that we used in our title. Now this is just the way we've got WordPress set up on this particular site, but you want to ensure that this permalink here contains good keywords. So in this case we're saying that it's West Midlands, so we're going to get a lot more localized traffic. We've also got the keywords UPVC and conservatory. There are a few rules for this. You want to stay away from using words like and or the, but, you know, these kind of short and non-descriptive words. You've got a maximum character count of 83 characters, but that includes everything. That includes the HTTP : // That's 83 is the absolute maximum. Make sure your spelling of things is correct when it's up there, and yeah, that will ensure that your website or this particular post is well indexed and Google knows exactly what this is about, and so can show your post to people who are searching for similar things. Okay, so the content of the site, the content of the post. Now the rules with content is ultimately create the most useful, readable, informative, interesting content that you possibly can. The only little side rules there are in terms of SEO, in terms of making sure that your site is well represented in Google and appears at the top of Google or near the top of Google for as many things as possible, is to make sure that the most descriptive information is in the first sentence. So in this case, let's say ABC Can't spell today, sorry. Yeah, really can't spell today. The excellent thing about spell check, make sure you are using a browser where you've got spell check to assist you. Okay, now for the actual content area. In terms of content, the main thing that's important with content is to make sure that you're writing stuff that's informative, that's interesting, that's engaging for your readers, and really fulfills the needs that your readers are going to have. If they're likely to have questions about your products, you want to be answering those questions. If you need to build up their confidence in you, then you need to give information to help do this. The only real rules in terms of making sure your content is well represented in Google and to make sure you're at the top of Google for the appropriate things is to make sure that the first sentence of your content is very descriptive. You cram in lots and lots of keywords that you'd like to be found for, and you get them in right at the start. So in this case, let's come up with some content for this. So we're a conservatory supplier in the West Midlands. A range of there we go. Not brilliant content, but it shows the point we're trying to make. So we've got the word conservatories in there, we've got the name of the company, ABC Conservatories in this case, we've got UPVC, which is the material they're using, and then some different types of products that they might be trying to sell: orangeries, conservatories, sunrooms and extensions. So that's a good starting opening sentence. Then you can add whatever it is, whatever content it is that you want to add thereafter. Okay, so let's just have a look at how we're getting on here. So once you've come up with some content, you've got a title and you've got some content, on the right hand side here you can click on preview, and what preview will do is it'll open a new tab, and using the information you've already put in, it'll show you what you've currently done. So that's how your site would look if that was all you were writing for this. We can do a little bit better than that, so let's try and let's add a picture. You can see here you've got a little insert and upload button. If you hover over it, it says add media. Let's just click on that. Now there's two ways of adding files here. You can either drag and drop them from another window on your computer, or you can hit the button to select files. In this case, we'll just navigate to a file that I've got saved on the desktop. Okay, here it is. So it's a picture of a conservatory. This tells you a little bit of information about it. So the title, again, you want to be as descriptive as possible. So it's an external UPVC conservatory. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, the alternate text. The alternate text is used in the code for the website. It's used for things like screen readers. If someone has trouble reading, they might have a program that reads the information off the screen to them. And obviously filling in the alternative text not only tells that program what that picture is about, but it also tells search engines like Google what the picture is about. And the more information you give to these search engines about what is on your site and how good your content is and how appropriate your content is for particular searches, that's how you get more people stumbling upon your site. Okay, the caption box here. The image, as we've got it set at the moment, will display just the image. If we'd like that image to have a title underneath, a caption underneath, then you can just type whatever you want in here, and that will display underneath that picture. The description you don't have to worry about too much, and the link URL you don't have to worry about too much. It just means the link URL is just what happens when someone clicks on your image. In this case, we're going to say none. We're going to have it aligned to the right, so it'll be on the right hand side of the post, and it'll be a medium size, this particular size that it's chosen for us. So let's click Insert into Post. You'll see that's there. If you can't see the image, here, you might be looking at it in a different mode. There are two modes to this editor window. It's Visual and HTML. Visual is much like Word or OpenOffice or any other word processing program. HTML shows the actual code behind the site. So if you can't see things, just make sure you got that Visual tab clicked. So we've added our picture now, and if we have another preview of that, you'll see that we've now got the title, and then on the right hand side we've got the image, and on the left hand side we've got our text. If we carried on our text would wrap around it and come under the image and use up the whole width of this. Okay, so that's the content. Not bad, not bad. Now on the right hand side we've got a few other things. So categories here. This is going to be in our services category. Just choose the most appropriate category for whatever your post relates to, and if there's not an appropriate category there, you can add a new category. You want to try and not add too many categories. Obviously it all depends on the content that your site is serving and the information that you're showing, but yeah, try and keep the navigation reasonably simple, especially to begin with. And then down here, last thing before we publish this, this is WordPress SEO by Yoast. This is a way of making your site move up higher in the search rankings. Okay. So in this box down here, excuse me, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to give the post an SEO title. Okay. Now you can generate an SEO title. Okay, and what this is, when your site when someone searches for something, this will be the title of the post that appears in the search engine rankings. So when you search something into Google, there you go, let's just show you. You search something into Google, it will be, this is the title that we're putting in here, so the title that people see when they're searching for something, and then this underneath is the content, the snippet. Okay, if we relate this back to this post that we're doing here, so the title, I've got West Midlands UPVC Conservatory Supplier, yoursite.co.uk. Now if you were ABC Conservatories, there we go, you can change it to that, and you'll see at the bottom there's a maximum of 70 characters, and it'll tell you how many you've got left. So in this case, we'll say that that's a good title. Now the meta description, this is very much, this is this kind of area here. So this is a sentence or so to tell people what this page is about, and to try and get them to click on the page and come and read what it is that you would like them to read. You've got 140 characters. Yeah, again, you want to get a lot of keywords in, a lot of descriptive information. So let's go for make sure your spelling's okay. There we go. So ABC Conservatories in the West Midlands are local specialists that can install premium conservatories, orangeries, sunrooms and extensions. We'll see we're still within the limit for that. And so that, for a simple, let's just preview that again. you'll see that the information you put in down here won't actually be shown on the post. That's more for the search engines. So once you're quite happy with that you've got, you can publish the post. Okay, and once your post is published, you can either click on View Post there, or you can go up to the tab we opened at the top earlier and refresh this tab. Now you can either refresh it, just means to reload it, either by this circular arrow button here, or you can press F5 on your keyboard. Now you'll see that what you've done here, you've added a new post, which is this one. It's got the picture, it's got the description. Yeah, it's not bad. Now let's say there was another part that you wanted to add to this post. We can go back in. Many themes have got an edit button that you can click, or on this top bar up here you can click to edit post. Okay, let's say you had you wanted to do a special section for conservatories, no, extensions. Extensions again, house extensions, blah blah blah. Doesn't really matter what your content is, but you could have another section for conservatories, and one for sunrooms. Okay, and if we obliged to tidy this up. If we preview the changes, okay, we can see there that it's just written it in as text. It's just written it in as text. Now you'll see the title is in much larger, much more dramatic text. That's because it's set to what they call a H1. So this is a H1 heading, the top level of heading. So this tells Google and the other search engines that this title here is very, very descriptive of what the page is, okay, because it's a H1 heading. Now in order to get more attention paid to your pages, you can use H2 headings. Okay, the way we would do that is if you click on this HTML tab here. Okay, that takes us to what looks like well, it's all the code for the back of the site. So the things that we want to make H2, so second level headings, not as important as the title, but still very, very descriptive of what this page is and what's going on this page. To add a H2 header, it's very simple, just enclosing everything in brackets. So we're using these square brackets, which are at the bottom right of the keyboard. So open bracket, H2, close bracket, and then where you want the H2 to finish, so what the end of the heading, you open bracket and then backslash / sorry, H2 and close brackets. Okay, so it's opening the H2, closing the H2. That's what you can see here. And when we go and preview that, you'll see that extensions is now styled slightly differently. That's one aspect of using these H2s. The other is that Google will see extensions as a much more important word in this page. You can do the same for house extensions, conservatories, but all that does need to be followed up with some actual content behind it. You can't just have an entire page filled with H1 and H2 headers and no actual content, because those are tricks that Google is well aware of and will not allow. Okay, so if we wanted to make, let's make all of these H2. There's another one. So when we look at that, that will reload, and that's a H2. So we could put lots more information in under each of these, and then Google will further be looking at these words here that are in the H2 tags as being very, very descriptive. Oh, it does help if you spell things right. As being very, very descriptive of what's going on the site. Okay, so when you're happy with all that, we can update the changes, and we can go back. We can have a look. Just click on, click back to the home page of your site, and you'll see here's your post. with your picture, your content, your H2 tabs. This is automatically a H1, so you haven't got to worry about this. But your H2 tags, and there you go. That's your first post that you've added to your new WordPress site.